Hello and welcome to this episode of the Excalibur podcast. Today we have an esteemed guest, Matt Estrada. He is the CEO and founder of West East Iron. Welcome, Matt.
It's a pleasure. This is a great opportunity, honestly. Like this, your house is nice, everything's nice, setup's nice. I mean, it's the first time I've been on camera, so we're talking. Well, we talk all the time in the gym, but
100%.
It's nice, man.
I believe that you have the most potential that I've ever seen in somebody, man. We want to go a little bit into your story and how you became who you are. You said West East Iron.
Yes, sir.
That, to me, that company has such a significance because, firstly, you're going opposing to how the earth goes. Mostly the earth goes from east to west. You're opposing that. So you're going against the grain. And then secondly, iron. Do you know that iron is the only element that can only be destroyed by itself?
I didn't know that, but I learned everything. I learned a lot of new things from you on that.
So from that perspective, if you think about it, iron sharpens iron, but also it's the only thing that can destroy itself. And we see that happening in a host of areas with men all around. This is one of the reasons that we developed this podcast, is to really ensure that men can have an outlet and a different perspective on things. And I believe that your perspective has completely changed a lot of what I think about fitness, about personal development, and just transformation, because your transformation was astounding.
Yeah.
But let's get started with your story, like where you started and how you came to develop your company.
So, I'm originally from California. That's where the West comes from. I'm from a little town, Madera, California. Shout out to all my 559, all my peoples. Pretty much small town, the only thing people know is like you work in the fields or you go to prison. Mm-hmm. The one thing that helped me was football, of course. I was always doubted in that in my high school and stuff, but there was always one coach that pretty much sat down with me and he said, you have an opportunity to change your life. And I listened to it and went junior college football and got a scholarship out here in Virginia, and that's where the East comes in. And now, of course, I could have went home, but there's nothing for me back at home. I wanted to start my own life. I'm the first in my family to do anything, to get a high school diploma, to get 2 college degrees, to play sports at a high level, so I just didn't want to go back home. So now I'm out here and I'm chasing that dream of creating impact with as many lives as possible as I can. Mm-hmm. And that's why I created West East Iron, because we iron as a whole, I'm all about team. So, the gym in my eyes, like if you work together as a team, you can become great. So that's why my slogan is "We Iron."
Right, 100%. That's awesome, man. Hell yeah! And the background that you have, I think that plays a massive part into who you are as a person right now, right? Because you went through some hardship.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of people, they don't see that as a blessing. I see that as a blessing. The hardship that we go through, we grow through. We are able to become stronger, but we also appreciate and are humbled by having the things that we have today.
For sure. Hardship, that's definitely, what is it? Hardship's my middle name, I guess that's what they say, right? Mm-hmm. I've been through a lot in my life as a kid. I had to grow up early, so I feel like I went through that for a reason, because it made me to the man I am today. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'm just grateful that it happened to me, honestly, because I could have used that as an excuse and stayed in my hometown and been like everybody else, but I didn't want that.
Right. So what made you different? What made you different from everybody around you? What really sparked that interest in you? Because at the end of the day, I have a debate with a lot of people that we all have the capability to do and have anything that we want in the world.
Okay.
But it's will. And will you do it or not? And the most from the most perspective of my thing is that your willpower and vision to transform your life and to make a name for yourself has transformed you, but also countless other lives that you interact with, whether you like it or not, or realize that or not.
For sure.
So what is it that was the differentiating factor that sparked you to go on this journey?
It's really just when I wake up, when I was a kid, waking up and sleeping on the floor, mattress with cockroaches and stuff, that kind of just, you look around your environment, you're like, I want more. Growing up, I always felt like I was the outcast in my family, in my opinion. And sad enough, I feel like I'm the only one who kind of kept that promise as cousins and brothers and sisters to make it out,
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a thing I always tell myself is, what's your why, right? What do you do it for?
Mm-hmm.
Your why. Why are you getting up every morning? Why, And that for me kind of fueled me every day from high school to traveling an hour to go to my junior college to taking that leap of faith and going across the country in my car, and now we're here, right? And then while I was here, what's my why, Because I could have easily went back home, homesick and all this stuff, right? But at the end of the day, your home's always going to be there, right? And I didn't want to be that guy. I left my town and I came back.
Right.
So just remembering my why.
Interesting. So has your why changed over the period of time that you were going from high school, junior college to here? Or was it the same why throughout the entire process?
It's been the same why, but I feel like it's starting to change now.
Okay.
Because, people come in and out of your life, and family members aren't always going to be supportive of that. So it's changed, but throughout the whole thing, it was always like, of course, family and just my grandfather who passed away, before I went to junior college. Mm-hmm. That was my big why.
Okay.
And then just setting an example for my family, like my younger siblings and my sisters and my brothers, stepbrothers, all that stuff. So just setting that example, even though we went through all this, we can make it out. Just setting that example, and then setting that example for my town, because I'm not the only one who's gone through what I've gone through, right? Everyone goes through this, but it's just like, that's all they're familiar with, so they just stay.
Okay.
And I just wanted to let them know, like, you can make it out, like if you put your mind to it and you believe in yourself and don't worry about what anyone else says and just put in the work and grind, like, anything's possible in life, honestly. I'm a prime example of it. I'm living at 1,800 miles from my hometown.
Right. And you travel across country.
Yeah. And I'm by myself, like, it's like unheard of. Like, 24 years old, by yourself. Usually they go back home, the typical go home and stay with their mom and dad and live there for a couple of years, get on their feet. Oh, I didn't have that option.
Right.
So it was either go all in or I'm screwed.
I like that.
And bet on yourself. Like I've always bet on myself. From the moment I hit high school, honestly. So
100%. I like that. I like the two things that you said there that really changed my perspective, or something that people should actually take note of, is one, you went all in. Most people will only go 50% and then they'll retard back to where they were before, or even worse, because normally when they have a little bit of success or try to get that, they fail and they go, okay, well, I'm going to go back. And the second thing is you burnt your ships. You're like, I'm never going back there until I'm going to be a success.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so your mindset and perspective has obviously shifted throughout the entire time that you've been doing this. And by being who you are, you're showing the people around you that, one, it's humanly possible. Because if one human has done it, it means that it's humanly possible. Mm-hmm. Do you know who Roger Bannister is?
No.
Roger Bannister was the first man to break the 4-minute mile.
That's who that was. I heard about the 4-minute mile thing, but I didn't know who the name was.
Yeah, before him, they thought it was physically impossible. Mm-hmm. But do you know how many people have done it since he's broken the 4-minute mile?
None.
Hundreds and thousands of people have done this. And they've basically said, that even high school kids have done it. And you know why they were able to do it?
Because one person done it?
Yeah, when they stepped on the track, they knew that it had been done before. And you're showing and showcasing everybody from your hometown in Madeira that it is possible to create a life that you truly want to be. To live by design and not to live by default, which is what most people do. So you're the Roger Bannister for the people in Madeira.
I feel like more like Eddie Hall, but
Eddie Hall,
guy,
yeah,
500 kg deadlift, like that's, I know that is.
Yeah, he's phenomenal as well. He's going to be boxing Mariusz Kujanovski pretty soon, or fighting against him. But okay, so that's the one side. Your story, you've come from somewhere, you've created this life for yourself. But let's talk about your transformation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about where you started.
Yeah.
And how phenomenal you are looking right now, man. And what sparked that change?
So, November 11th, my last football game ever played, you know, just looking in the mirror and not liking what I seen. I'm not a football player no more, so time to lose the weight, right? And of course, the typical O lineman, there's only two things that happen. You either stay the same, or gain a little bit of weight, or you lose the weight and look good. And I don't want to stay the same because I've always been big in my life.
Okay.
So I wanted to lose the weight, and it was just doing a whole lifestyle change, from the diet to switching up my workouts to, you know, like more cardio, like different, like it's just being different. And of course it was an adjustment for me, for real, like really big change, like, because all I know is pile food in your mouth and make sure you have a snack and film and football, like that's all I've known. So going that to the real world and working, now I have time, all this free time.
Yeah.
Why not better your health? Because I know that's the one thing that's neglected in the world is your health. Because you focus on your career so much, your health starts taking a beating. And then once you get to that highest level that you want in your career, it's already too late. You're like in the 300-400 pounds, you know? Right. And I didn't want that. So,
okay.
And then plus I wanted to buy clothes that like are cheaper. Okay, let's be honest. Yeah. Because that's expensive, and it's really just to look good and have that confidence, you know?
Yes. That is the epitome of what it is, because you said some very interesting golden nuggets there. One, you said that most people focus on the career and they neglect their health. And they may get to this pinnacle of what they think is success.
Yeah.
But is it truly success if you're going to be on a respirator when you're having to sleep at night, or a CPAP? Yeah. Is it truly success if you have to walk up the stairs and you're out of breath? Man, that to me does not feel like success.
No.
How we classify success in Excalibur is fitness first. Right? Fitness first, because you've been given this temple by God. If I gave you a Ferrari and I come back a month later and the rims are all scratched and the headlights falling out and you've just neglected it, do you think I'm going to give you anything else?
No.
Hell no.
No.
That's exactly what our body is. Our body is a true testament to who we are and how we approach what we've been given. Then secondly, our faith. Right? So fitness, faith. I want to ensure, it doesn't matter what religion you are, right? I want to ensure that you have a faith and you're focusing towards that. Why? Because if you have that as your foundation attached to that, you're going to be aiming and serving for a higher purpose. Third is your family. Right? You said your family is critical and were part of the reason why you were making a difference in your life. You know the saying, blood is thicker than water?
Yeah.
You know that saying's incomplete.
I remember you told me this before, but I like when you say it, because it's like that resonated with me when you told me that one time. So
right.
Go ahead and say it again.
it's blood of the covenant is thicker than water of the womb, meaning that the people that you choose as your family are always going to transpire or transcend who you were born with, right? And that to me is been evident in my life, because people like you I choose you as family because you are making a difference in this world. Okay? Next is fellowship. Who are the men and people that you are surrounding yourself with? Why? Because they're going to spur you to be better. They're going to encourage you, network you, and they're going to give you opportunities to improve. Then comes finances, because you can't navigate this world without finances. And then last is follow your purpose. And I don't mean loss as that's the worst thing, but rather once you've got all those foundations, the pinnacle of everything else is following the purpose that you and only you were designed to do on this earth. By utilizing and by creating that framework, the 6 F's of success, making progress, small progressive steps onto that every single day, that is when you're a success. And that's exactly what you have showcased by changing your body to being into this amazing shape. But on top of that, what happened? Your confidence started to come up.
Yeah.
In NLP, neuro-linguistics programming says that mind and body are systemic process, meaning whatever the mind goes through, the body goes through, and vice versa. When people are depressed, they try and take these pills to solve the depression. What is the opposite of depression?
Happiness.
Expression.
Expression.
By shouting, screaming, letting all those emotions out, that is when you're going to be negating the depression of pushing everything down. So you have showcased the transformative process of being not only the first person in your generations to make a difference and to navigate the world, but also to not be stuck in your previous iteration of yourself. It's a game. Life's a game, and you're choosing to upskill your character every single time. Whenever I talk to you, you're reading, you're accumulating knowledge, you're working out, you're changing, and you are evolving. Evolution as a person is one of the most critical things, and I believe that is something that you're doing right now. Whether you're going to be doing amazing things in one area or another area, I guarantee you're still going to be doing amazing things regardless of whatever it is you're going to put your mind to. You can do anything that you put your mind to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a thing we talked about when I first met you, that identity, right? My identity was college football player, right? And once I was gone, I was kind of lost. You know, that's when I was over at 300 at the time, big guy.
Yeah.
And that's when you told me, like, don't let that be your identity. Like, you gotta, like, change that. And that's what I did, honestly. Because honestly, I probably, like, would have lost the weight, but I probably would have still felt, oh, I'm the football player, right? But meeting you kind of gave me a different aspect of life and evolved a different way. You know, what does it kill that person and become the person you're supposed to be?
Right.
You know, don't let that define who you are. Be the person you're meant to be, supposed to be. And that's what I'm doing now, honestly.
Yeah.
Because that guy right there was not confident, you know, was shy, you know, would, you know, fear, all this stuff, right? Of course there's fear now because it's like, I'm different now.
Yes.
Because now I'm like, people see me differently, they treat me differently, they respond to me differently because I'm lost the weight.
Speak about that. I want you to actually talk about that because a lot of people don't realize how much your influence and social dynamics changes.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about that. How are people treating you now that you've lost that weight?
So before, you know, it was like the typical fat guy. Like they think you're. Well, I'm always been funny because I had that personality, right?
Yeah.
But like since I lost weight, people like show more respect to me. They come up to me. They say, "Oh, your transformation's amazing." They text me on Instagram, ask me for advice. People from back at home ask for advice. You know, just all different. Like even like the company I work for, like they treat me differently. Got these promotions because they seen I changed everything about myself. You know, just it all comes hand in hand. Like if you're fit, people are gonna take you more seriously. Especially in the field I'm in. You know, I want to train people, impact people's lives, and who are you going to take advice from? A guy who's 300 plus pounds? he knows a lot, or a guy who's going to be fit.
Yeah.
You know?
The guy that's fit.
The guy that
practices what he preaches.
Exactly. And that's the thing, when I started this, selling PT, I guess, I was the biggest guy on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them doubted me. Of course, I was good at it, right? I shocked them, broke records and stuff, whatever. But you got to practice what you preach. And I wanted to be the brand, be the product. So now I got to transform myself. And now when the people give me excuses, well, this is what I used to look like. So there is no excuse.
Yes.
This was in lesser timeline than what you're going to do.
Right.
Because in reality, it took me only under 3 months to do this.
Yes. It's over 100 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In just under 3 months. That's freaking unheard of, man.
Yeah. So if I can do it under 3 months, I think if people a year, you guys can do it too.
Oh,
right?
definitely.
A year. So
again, it comes back to if it's one human has done it, it means that it's humanly possible.
And it's like, what's your highest priority? I get life gets in the way. Everybody's got life, right?
Yeah.
But what's going to be better when you're in the best shape of your life, or you're on your deathbed because you chose to go out or do these bad habits that you have that give you temporary satisfaction? Right?
It's cost versus price.
Exactly.
Price is what you pay now. Cost is what you pay later.
I love that line so much. I say that all the time.
Right.
The price is the one-time price you pay now. The cost is what you pay down the line.
Yeah, like for example, a McDonald's cheeseburger is $4.99. A New York steak is $10. You cook that, takes a bit of time. This is quick and easy. You do this on a regular basis, your medical bill down the line is going to be astronomical.
Yeah.
With the steak, it's not.
No. And I don't even touch fast food anymore.
Good.
Like, I never really liked fast food, but of course, convenience, right? Calories.
Yeah.
Now I just cook at home. It's simple. I've always been simple, but just cooking at home is a lot more affordable than eating out. I'm telling you. Like,
Definitely.
It really is.
Definitely. Right. So there was a thing, I think it was Jason Waller. He's one of Andrew Tate's friends, and he was talking about it. He just Uber eats everything because he doesn't want to do the dishes. He doesn't want to do this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And I see his point. I see his perspective of, you know what, it's a lot more efficient, it's a lot more quick to be able to do that. But again, what is the cost down the line? And I know when I'm cooking that steak, what is going into it. I know how it's being prepared, and I know exactly what's coming into my body. Which means that, and I'm saying steak all the time because that's the majority of what I eat is just a carnivore diet. But that said, you have control over it. Whereas the other stuff, you don't have control over. So you said, just to recap, you said that the way that people responded to you, you got promotions because of the fact that you got into a better shape. Your clients are seeing you different, and your body's your resume, essentially. So when you walk into a room, you have more commanding presence. People look at you differently. They see this big guy that is in shape instead of this big guy that's out of shape. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. You could have $1 million in your bank account. You could have so much wealth, you could have a Rolex and walk into a room. But you and I walk into the room next to him, if that guy's a fat guy, you know what's going to happen? The attention's going to be on you and I. Why? Because it's a hell of a lot more difficult to be in shape and to be stronger than it is to make that $1 million.
For sure. And I'm already a big presence, right? Big guy, bigger, taller. And now that, of course, lost the weight, now everyone's like, whoa, like, he's different now. Like, I've always gotten stares my whole life because I'm not your typical Mexican. I'm over 6 feet. So now that I'm over 6 feet and I'm in shape, it's just like, oh, shoot, like, who's this guy? So
got big shoulders. You've got, let's put it into perspective, right? You have broad shoulders, you've got a smaller waist, you've got good sized legs. Essentially, you are what most men want to look like. The rationale behind that is because you're tall, you're a commanding presence. And you don't have to even open your mouth to be that commanding presence. You just step in the room. But then what people see is this big guy and he's got a smile on his face, and then boom, it just changes everything.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
That's the difference. You're happy, you're healthy, and you're fit, which is not a lot. I can guarantee you 90% of the people out there are none of those things.
Yeah, for sure. You said it all right there. Like, honestly, fitness is probably the best thing that's ever happened in this world. Because without the gym or anything, like, I don't know how people would function. Honestly, because like the world is stressful, life's stressful, but the gym is like a playground too. For me, it is because you get to like think, take your frustrations out, challenge yourself, look different every week. You know, so
progress equals happiness, man. That's what Tony Robbins said. And on top of that, you can see the progress almost instantly. And you said something very, very interesting there. You said it's a playground. You get to play with different parts of your body and to see how it reacts and literally push yourself to your limits every single time. There's no other place in the world that I've known that you're able to do that. Yes, Spartan races are kind of like that. But again, they're only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something along those lines. That you can't do that every single day, whereas the gym gives us that capability to really. Well, I grew up with anime, okay, so I grew up watching Goku and Dragon Ball Z and Vegeta. So
that's original anime, guys. All this new stuff, I don't get it. I'm sorry. I know it's my generation. Goku is.
Hold up.
Dragon Ball Z.
I'm a Vegeta fan, okay?
Vegeta's good. I like Piccolo.
Okay. Yeah, Piccolo was good. He trained, Gohan, yeah. Gohan was a wimp, man. He was like so good when he was younger, and then all of a sudden he just became this guy that wants to sit behind the desk and study. That's what happens when you let the mothers raise the kids. But yeah, so from that entire perspective, you've been able to change everything around yourself, and you've really formulated a world a reality that you are proud of. So what are your next steps, my man? Where do you see yourself in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Iron is going somewhere. Yeah. Our brand is going somewhere. So let's make that happen. When's it going to happen?
After this camera go off, honestly. I put it behind me for a while now since I started this name in my college dorm room, right? You know, after football was done, I had so much time, and this is the name I came up with, right? And I put it behind because I let my job, my career, I let people around me shut it down, right? Because and it goes to, like, you're choosing career over health. And that's what I was doing.
Okay.
And now that I realize this, like, follow your dreams and do what you believe. Who cares what anybody says? No matter if they're your best friend, they're your mom, dad, grandma, whatever. Like, at the end of the day, all your stuff isn't for them. It's for the people out there in the world that see value in it and that need that extra step of motivation and need that. Maybe your stuff can impact them and give them a purpose to keep going and not give up when the plateau hits or something, you know? So I'm going all in on this like I do with my football stuff, right? And I know it's going to be a success because I have this guy right here. Honestly, this guy right here, like, going to help me through the way for sure.
100%.
But at the end of the day, I just want to impact lives, you know, that's all I've ever done, you know. I've always, for some reason they call me wise or wisdom, right? Because I always know what to say when people give me their problems, right? So this brand is gonna, West East Iron is kind of like that in a way, you know. The fitness aspect of it and just being yourself, being authentic, being resilient, you know. It's a you versus you mentality, and, you know, thing about me is, like, I've always had this chip on my shoulder, and the thing about it is, like, don't let the chip on your shoulder define who you are, let it drive you. And then that's what this West East Iron is, you know. I mean, let that drive you, you know. Don't be the guy that's gonna talk and don't do anything about it. Just sit back, smile and wave, and when months go by and you're different and they look the same, there's your answer right there, you know, and that's what I did. So
actions speak louder than words.
Exactly, they do, they really do. So, and that's what I've always been. Just all right, you don't believe me? I always say, watch me.
Yeah.
And just be quiet, sit back. The person who's quiet is the most dangerous in the room. So, I've always been the quiet guy. I like to talk, but I'm just gonna sit back.
But you're selective with who you talk to, though.
For sure. And that just goes to getting trust, right? You know, growing up, trust has been a hard thing for me. So like, I'm pretty closed off, which I'm working on that. But selective who I talk to. But it's like the people who I talk to are the people who I want to like be like, and want to surround myself with, such as you know. So. Because if you surround yourself with people who are negative and haven't achieved what you achieved, what do they know, right?
Exactly.
So, surround yourself with people who already got to that, right? And now you just learn from them. Be a sponge. You don't, at the end of the day, I don't know anything. That's my mentality. Like, I know some things, but I don't know everything.
Right.
And why not learn from men who've done it, who have the answers, instead of you being stubborn and figuring it out yourself. You might figure it out a year or two, but there's a blueprint right there. Like,
exactly.
Just be a sponge, be coachable. That's one thing, be coachable.
Yeah.
In any aspects of your life. From weightlifting to job to maybe marriage advice or something, you know, just be coachable. Because if you're not, you're just be stuck.
Yeah. I know are the two worst words in the English language. Why? Because you shut off your ability to learn anything. For me, curiosity has always been my biggest driving factor, and it's part of the warrior king matrix in our Excalibur forge. Is that you want to be able to understand and really delve into these different subjects, because just because I've done something like this for 5 years, and there's a saying that what the saying goes, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
But just because it's not broken does not mean that it can't be improved.
Yeah.
And I believe that by approaching things with curiosity and really saying exactly what you were saying, because I learn from you, whether you realize it or not. It's a symbiotic relationship. I learn from your perspective and you learn from my perspective.
Yeah, sure.
Because you approach things from a different vantage point than I do. You have different filters, you have different behaviors, you have different value systems than I do. So how can we look at a problem and say this is not a problem but an outcome that we currently have, but what is the desired outcome? And then shift from that outcome to this outcome. I don't know, like you said, I don't always have all the answers.
Yeah.
But I know that there are people around me that can have the answers. You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with and the books that you read. So choose those people wisely, is my only retrobate to moving forward. But that, I think, is all the time that we have for today. Where can our viewers find you?
Big_Matt Estrada, West East Iron, and that's where I post all my socials and stuff. Instagram. That's what it is. So
you can see his transformations, but we're gonna actually post some of those pictures in this podcast while we actually go through the conversation, so that we could actually see how you have transformed. Because I think that the gravitas behind how much you have transformed your life will give a clear indication to people just how amazing you truly are, man. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. You know where to find us. You can find us on Excalibur Coaching on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, as well as Spotify, which you're probably listening to right now. Have a fantastic day.